Hello YouTube, Dawson Rider here with a review of the SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Decayed Violin in Motion version. Not really a re-release, well actually kind of a re-release with a new face for the Violin in Motion face from the Rider Tyson movie. They changed it to Violin in Motion, it used to be known as Fury Form. I don't know why they changed it, it's a really odd name. But as usual, let's go over the packaging to start. Okay, so it's done in a black packaging, kind of in this new style packaging. It's not just a standard gray anymore. Black. Then we got a silhouette of Decayed Violin in Motion here. You can see his face is different. It says Master Rider Decayed. I wish it said Kamen Rider. It says Violin in Motion. The Rider Tyson logo down here. On the side, it's done in pink, which looks good. On the back, we got, show the two different faces it comes with, the Violin in Motion and then the redone Decayed head. The epic pose, another epic pose, another epic pose. Description of what Figuarts is, and then the number on the bottom. So, for what he comes with here is a bunch of hands. He comes with, well, a hand so he can touch the K-touch. He comes with holding cards hands despite not coming with cards. Fists, whoa, this is like a different kind of fist. I guess it's another holding cards hands. Two different kinds of holding cards hands, I guess. No, I was wrong, I'm sorry. I'm being a tired dad. This is weapon holding and this is card holding. And then here has this wide open molester hands. And then the punchy fists that are on him. And then he comes with three different versions of the ride booker. The ride booker on his own. There's a little peg so that I can go on this side. Opens up. It's neato. I don't think I showed that in my original Decayed review. Gun form. They're all painted fine. I think it's supposed to have a Decayed symbol on there though. Sword mode. And then the other head, which is just regular Decayed, which is a huge improvement over the first one. I'll show like an exact comparison in a minute. Let's go over the figure on its own first. So basically, with the exception of the head, this is the same Decayed figure with a slightly different paint. It's done in a darker pink than the other Decayed, but other than that, it pretty much looks the same. The Decayed driver is not changed. All the paint looks the same all around. It looks good. The material feels a little bit different, and I like the way it looks and feels. I don't know, it's just really weird something to say like that, but yeah, here's how it looks. And then he's got his Violin in Motion face on. Now, unless you look at this in a really good light and really close up, you can't really tell the Violin in Motion that much. Like, the spikes aren't that noticeable, which is kind of disappointing. You really can't tell the difference from a distance that well. Articulation, is the same as always. Nice joint around here, double joint, swivel, waist articulation, nice leg ball joint, swiveling, double knee joint, swiveling here. It's got the toe action, 360 neck joint. So all the same articulation you come to expect. 1 second, grab it. Over here, old Decayed. Obviously, this is a darker color of pink, as you can see. It's noticeable, but it's also not that noticeable, so if you want to switch out the head, you can, which I'll just demonstrate in a minute. People are just coughing now. I'm just rambling now. Let me just take off old Decayed's head and set the decapitated version and compare the two, and there really is a huge improvement. Let me do this. This is the old face. Now, the eyes are done a lot more accurate. These are just like circular blobs, and this is like perfect the way the Decayed head's supposed to be. The pink is a little bit darker. The cards are done better. The jewel here, it's a lot larger and show accurate. And there's this weird square in the old one, which isn't here. So a huge, huge improvement over the original Decayed face, especially since mine had a bunch of paint mistakes, which I don't know if you can pick up and I scratched it off or whatever. But yeah, this is the old Decayed face. I'll just put it over here. You can take the old Decayed body and put the new Decayed head on it. And you can notice the color difference, but if you get in a certain pose and in a certain light where it looks good but it's not too dark, you don't notice it that well. Because of how similar, like, here's the faces. Like, you can tell it's Violin in Motion, but you really have to look at it. From a distance, you can't tell that well. And because of that fact, I'm glad I didn't get two. At one point I was thinking about it, but that would be a whole other figure. Like, you can see that, on the side here, this is a lot bigger than the side here, but from the front, like, it's really not that huge of a difference. Like, I wish the spikes were more extruded here. So unless you're like have the money lying around, you can buy two if you want, but otherwise, if you already have the old Decayed, I would just say pick up one and just put the new head on the old one. So overall, this is another really good figure art. The Decayed body was always fine. Definitely the heads are a lot better. If you haven't bought a Decayed yet, definitely get this one instead, unless you're like a completist and probably want both releases, since the other one comes with cards for him to hold. If you already have the old Decayed, I can still recommend you pick this up. Definitely a great improvement over the head, and you get the Violent Emotion head, so either way, whether you have it already or not, I suggest picking this up if you are a fan of Decayed. It's a good figure art to have in your collection. But that really is about all I have to say about it. Just the heads were a nice improvement, but Violent Emotion isn't all that different. So anyway, that is about it. Check out the podcast at writersrangersrambles.com and subscribe to that through the RSS feed or the iTunes, and that's all I have to say since I've quit and written reviews at this point. So until next time, it's Dawson Rider, signing out. Alright, I knew I was forgetting something. I forgot to go over the exclusive Decayed stand that you get when you just buy a Decayed Fury by itself or with others, but as long as you just get one Decayed Fury, you're supposed to get this, or you were. It's just a Tamashii Decayed stand. It's got the Decayed logo on here, which looks good, and it says Final Attack by Decayed. And here's this Final Attack Decayed. So, yeah, and then you just put it together. It's pretty self-explanatory. I didn't bother, filming it. Mine was coming off. Anyway, you can have any desired length. Like, you can cut this off here. But, yeah, it looks good. Just for the sake of it, I'll get him in a kick pose, and you can put him on there. So, yeah, it's a pretty cool feature if you were one of the first ones to get it, or if you find some kind of sale somewhere that has it. It's a cool little extra, especially it's supposed to go with the other promotion with the cards, which I never got. But if you have the cards, or you have means of getting them and you get this, then cool. So yeah, you can do a cool attack. Looks better with the cards, but yeah, there's the stand. Nice little extra to have. So signing out for real this time.